CBS here at 11, I'm Gabriella Rusk. A woman is hurt after a house fire in Columbus this morning. Officials say that she was the only person living in the home at the time of the fire and was taken to the hospital. Now, within the last half hour, fire crews have mainly cleared from this scene. There are still a few, though, staying to monitor for hot spots at the home on West Harrison Street in Columbus. The Columbus deputy fire chief tells us that the fire fully engulfed the first floor and then worked its way up to the second floor and attic. But because of the quick action of Columbus FD, the fire was stopped from spreading any further.
So again, I can't say enough about our first on-scene crews. They did a really good job of attacking that fire so we had no fire spread, and then getting inside, shooting into the building, and really attacking this thing so it didn't spread.
And the cause of the fire and the estimated cost of damage is unknown at this time.